Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Liianobiakoujah, and if you're looking to immigrate to Canada or any country in the world, then my channel is the best channel for you. You want to be subscribed to my channel. So today we're going to be taking you on a ride. Just stay tuned. Today we're going to talk about cost of living in both the UK and Canada. So today is just a different kind of video, guys. So you want to watch through to the very end. And I have someone special here. Her name is Oge. She's a YouTuber based in the UK, and she's going to be giving her perspective about life in the UK, cost of living in the UK, and I'll be sharing on mine based on Canada. So if you're someone who has been considering whether it's the UK or the Canada for you, you want to watch this video to the very end because you're going to be getting the information firsthand. So the first thing on our list today is going to be, let's talk about rent. Now, I'm going to be talking about rent because this is like the major chunk, the major or the most important, or let me say the biggest, factor when it comes to your income. It takes the largest chunk of your income. So we're going to talk about the rent. Now, okay, for the UK, what is the average rent like for like a 1-bedroom, to a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom? What's it like for the UK?
Okay, basically in every country, rent is mostly dependent on where you find yourself. Like, I'm living in the northern part of England, and it's deemed one of the most affordable places in England. There are places that are affordable. If you really want to get places that are affordable, you go to Northern Ireland, you go to Wales. Is not so affordable, but it is. Then in England, it depends on where you are in England. In London, you are spending almost everything you have in rent. So down here in the northern part, the southern part is more expensive. In the northern part, I live in a 3-bedroom. It's a house, not even a flat. And I pay £725.
Wow, that's cheap.
Yes, it is. I pay £725, and I live in a band A house that the council tax is not so much. So you have to consider the council tax you're going to pay. You have to consider if the house, the EPC rating, you need to check out the rating. You need to be sure that it's not below a band C rating. This will help you save a lot of cost because during winter you will need to heat the house up. So just like I said earlier, where I'm staying, I'm paying £725, and it's 3-bed. Masters, there's a master bedroom. You have 2 toilets and 2 bathrooms. So it's all dependent on where you are staying. In London, my dear, it's a whole lot of money, depending on how many rooms you've got. Some pay as high as 1,500 or 2,000. So it's just dependent on the area.
All right. For Canada, I don't know, but I'm not in Toronto. That's one of the expensive provinces to come to when it comes to Canada. I'm not in Toronto. I'm not in Vancouver. I'm not in BC. But then I'm in Alberta, and Alberta used to be one of the you want to have good vibes, and then you want to live within a budget. You come to Alberta, but then recently, because of the influx of people to Alberta from Toronto, BC, and the rest, the rent has started to increase. So I won't consider Alberta cheap or relatively cheap anymore. Alberta is now expensive. So I stay in a 2-bedroom apartment. Okay. And one of the reasons why we decided to take a 2-bedroom was because I'm not a physically strong person. So before coming here, I was like, I don't want a big house. I cannot clean. So I insisted for my husband that he gets a 2-bedroom flat. So I stay in a condo, 2-bedroom, and we pay about 1,600 for rent. 1,600 Canadian dollars per month. And this is aside parking because we park on the ground. If you don't want to park on the ground, you can park outside. and you don't have to pay for parking. But we pay for parking because we park on the ground. So we pay an extra $60 per month for that. So
Wow.
that's just on rent. So it's $1,660 per month. Now, this is us that came 9 months ago. The people who came after us, people who came like last month or this month, the same building, because we have several buildings, you know, in where I stay, this owned by the same or managed by the same facility people, right? They are paying for the same 2 bedroom. They are paying $2,000.
What?
I pay 1.6. They are paying $2,000 for the same 2 bedroom apartment. Nothing has changed. So what this means is that Alberta is getting expensive now, guys. This is because I'm in the northwest part of Alberta, which is considered like the high blue part. Okay, there are other parts of Alberta or Calgary, sorry, that you can stay and pay less. Okay, so for the average cost of rent here, for a 1 bedroom, can get as low as $700 to at least $1,004. Now, depending on the suburb, the area, the location of the apartment. For a 2 bedroom, you can get like $1,004, okay, or $1,003 to $1,008 or $2,000. Just depends on the location, the kind of house, and all of that. Then for a 3 bedroom, you can get from $1,700 to about $2,500. So this is relative, but there are some provinces, right, that are considered, you know, not very popular, where you can get cheaper, you know, accommodation. Like provinces like the New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is not really cheap anymore. Some parts of Nova Scotia, like Halifax, is very expensive. But if you consider other suburbs, you find something cheap. If you go to Manitoba, you find something less. If you go to Prince Edward Island, you will find something less. So, you know, there are still places where you will find cheap accommodation, right? 500, 400 for a 1 bed, and you will be fine.
Good.
So you need to do a good research before you come to any countries. That's what I would say. Ask questions, go on Google, type, you know, find out, and then you'll be able to make a good decision. So now let's talk about salaries, okay? Let's talk about salaries. Let's hear you.
Okay. In the United Kingdom, it's all dependent on the kind of job you're doing. The minimum wage in the United Kingdom is £10.42, and they increase this every year by April, by the 6th of April next year, being 2024. They are going to increase it. In fact, they've already mapped out how much they are going to increase it to. So it all depends on what you are doing. And then it also depends on if you are a full if you're in a permanent role. If you're in a permanent role, you get to they get to pay you lesser than someone working with an agency or on a contract. People on contract or working with an agency, they tend to earn higher. But the minimum wage of the United Kingdom in 2023 is £10.42.
So can you say that an average individual can survive on that minimum wage?
Yes. Just like we're talking about accommodation, what you are aiming, you need to look at that before you choose where you will stay. Let's say, for instance, most healthcare workers, especially the healthcare assistants, most of them, depending on the role you are playing and where you are working, most of them in the basic a bit above the minimum wage, just a little bit above the minimum wage. I always encourage people in such roles to look for somewhere affordable. They can take care of themselves with such amount. It can cover a lot of things, but you need to look for somewhere you can pay rent at an average rate, because you can't be working as a healthcare assistant and you'll be living in London. It doesn't make sense unless your partner, if you're married and your partner is earning way above you, Working in London and earning as a healthcare assistant, paying your rent in London with such amounts wouldn't be something great.
Okay, for us here, just going to share based on statistics. Data I got from statistics. Statistics. English is difficult, guys. Statistics Canada, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
the average, the average salary for an average Canadian or someone who lives in Canada is about 46,900, and this is based
Okay.
on Statistics Canada. I'll try to leave a link below in the
Yeah.
description. Now, according to Indeed, right, the highest paying salaries in Canada currently would be the specialized industries, like industries that have to do with extensive education, and that's talking about the medical field, because those people spend a lot of time in school. So, like an anesthesiologist, if you're an guys, just take it the way I pronounce anesthesiologist, right? Goes home with as much as $385,000 per year.
Oh,
That is crazy money. Do the maths and
crazy
divide
one.
monthly and see. Now, not a lot of people come see close to this amount of money, but that's how much they
Exactly.
go home with. Now, the next highest paying salaries that we can find in Canada would be the tech industry. Those in the tech and data entry industries, we're talking about the
Yeah.
project manager, we're talking about the
Yes,
DevOps,
business
software
analyst.
developers, business
Mm-hmm.
analysts. Those are the next set of people that earn a lot here in Canada. Now, their average salary would go from 84,000 to about $150,000. Now, depending on the company, depending on your
Yeah.
experience as well. So these are the next set of people that earn a lot. The minimum wage in Canada, in Alberta, because in Canada it's based on province. So the minimum wage for Alberta will be different from Toronto, will be different from New
Oh.
Brunswick, will be different from Nova Scotia. So I'm talking about my where I am, which is Alberta. Okay, the
Yeah.
minimum wage in Alberta is $15 per hour.
Wow.
And with that amount, I would say if you're an individual, a single person, if you're earning that kind of income and you live minimalistically, yes, you can survive here in Canada. And if you're two on that, like you have a partner, okay, who also has a minimum wage job, then better for you guys, okay? So you can actually live with that amount as long as you're cutting your quotes according to your, how do you put this? So everything will be good. So that's how it is here.
Yeah.
You can survive on that and gain more experience, improve yourself to get better jobs. That's what I would say. Let's talk about transportation, okay? In Canada, the transportation system is not as good as the UK. The UK has a very high level of transportation. I've been to the UK, so I know what it is. You can actually
Yes.
live in the UK without owning a car and you will be fine.
Yes.
Guys, in Canada, except you're living in the high boroughs like Toronto, Vancouver, BC, it might not work for you if you're living in other provinces without a vehicle. It will
Really.
be tough. I'm not saying you won't be fine, but it will be tough for you. So if you're coming to Canada, okay, I would advise that you save money or keep money aside for buying a vehicle, a car. You need it. It's not a luxury. It's a necessity here, especially when you have kids and you need to, move from commute from one place to the other. The buses are not very, regular, and when they even come, sometimes they come late. You will miss, and you will stay in the cold because this place is cold. So imagine staying outside with your kids, very very cold, freezing, iced weather,
Waiting
and
for.
you're waiting for
Oh
a
my
bus.
God.
So, and it takes you a longer time to commute when you're going with the bus. So, but if you have no choice, if you're coming here on a budget, you don't have money yet to buy a car, that's fine. You can get a bus pass for between $80 to about $100 monthly. So if you get the bus pass, you can use this for the month, and it helps you access trains, buses, without paying any extra. And there are some programs that even allow you to get discounts for that. So instead of paying 80 to 100, you can pay about $50-$40 per month to access these things monthly. So when you come in, you need to ask questions, and then you get all this information.
Paying for that transport, where exactly are you going to make use of that transportation you paid for? You got for like £80 and the rest.
Yes, in your locality, you can go anywhere with that amount.
Good.
For the whole month, yes.
Okay. It's just like the UK. You can just get a ticket, your bus pass, and you make use of it for the month. You can get for the day. Most times, down where I live, if you want just for a day, you can pay £4.50, and you can decide to take the bus for the whole of the day. If you like, enter 50 of them. Nobody's asking you for anything again. So the truth is, yes, the transportation system of the United Kingdom is okay, though it's not same everywhere, but at the same time, it's not bad. It's not so bad in those places. They know exactly when their buses are coming out, and they can wait for it and take the bus. You can come into the UK without having a car. Then with time, you'll be able to get a car and start driving. When I came into the UK, I didn't buy a car outrightly. I just waited for my family to arrive, because I know that taking the children here and there without a car wouldn't be easy for me. And it will even be easier for me to go to work and come back easily, to come home and stay with them. You understand? So I had to get a car immediately they arrived. But all the same, a car is a necessity everywhere, even in the UK. Yeah, that's just it. The people that most times they don't even talk about getting a car is people in London. They do get a car, yes, but most times they check some things and they end up not buying a car. You're coming out and you're getting a bus immediately. Meanwhile, is buying a car expensive in Canada?
No, it's not expensive. At least I know someone who, she's single. She just finished school, and she was able to get a car for, I think, £1,800. Sorry, $8,800.
Really?
Yeah, she got a car.
That's good.
And she has been, so far so good. She has driven the car for 8 months, and she's
that's
fine.
Good.
No issues, nothing. Cars actually, you can in Canada, you can get cars for most of the cars that they ship to Africa come from either the USA or Canada. So they are like this auction. I don't know how they do a lot of auction stuff here. Because people during the winter they have a lot of accidents, right? And most of the time, these whites do not want to drive the cars anymore. Once an airbag has been exploded, once something has been deployed, they just refuse to drive. So these cars are taken to Africa as what do I call it? Scraps, So you can buy cars like very cheap here in Canada. Yes, you can.
Really?
So when they ship it out to Africa and place customs charges and all that, it becomes really expensive. But if you're buying it to drive it here, it's cheap. It's not so expensive. Now that also depends on the kind of vehicle you're buying. And
exactly.
So all that consideration.